Hey, welcome to Two Casuals MMA. Normally David's here to talk with me, but it's Friday and the press conference just happened, so David's at work and you're stuck with me today for Mike's Face Off Fridays. Boom! Title card. So the press conference for UFC 328 was pretty insane. I mean, it was what everybody expected it to be. It was just Sean Strickland and Chimaev just absolutely hurling insults at each other the entire time. I felt really bad because Tyra and Van didn't get to talk at all. I think they each got asked like one or two questions each, and that was it. And they barely cared about the response at all. Like they faced off for like 1 second and then immediately walked off stage for the Chimaev Strickland disaster that everybody's talking about, blah blah blah. You know, we'll get into that. Yeah, I just wish Tyra got to say a little more. Like, I know his English isn't the best and he couldn't answer the questions very well. They're not great at talking like Strickland and Chimaev, where I'm just kind of sad that they're getting overshadowed by these huge media personalities in Strickland and Chimaev. Because at the end of the day, they're both going for belts, so I feel like they should be given the same amount of weight to them, but I understand they're there to make money, so obviously they're going to focus on the big circus that is Sean Strickland and Chimaev. I think the wildest part of the whole press conference was Chimaev nonstop attacking him for his father beating him, like, oh, your father's... I'm going to whoop you like your father, I'm going to beat you like your father or something, and I'm going to be your daddy or something like that. And then Sean the entire time was like, wow, this guy makes fun of child abusers. Wow. I can't believe this absolute animal would make fun of child abusers, as if Sean hasn't said like some of the worst things in MMA ever. Like, Sean draws the line at making fun of people who went through child abuse, but then the next sentence will be like, go back to your country, you filthy go fucking animal. Like, oh my God, dude, it was brutal. I think one of the questions they asked Dana White was if this was one of the most heated rivalries of all time, and I think he said it was top 3, and I can understand that. I mean, these two guys, they hate each other, it seems. I mean, obviously they run it up for the media, but they definitely did not seem to like each other, and Sean was saying some things that you would only really see said on Twitter or in the deep south, if you catch my drift. Another hilarious part of this press conference was the fact that Chimaev would not let Sean Strickland talk. Like, half of the time he would just keep calling him a bitch and telling him to shut up throughout, and Sean was like, let me talk, let me speak, let me say something, like, and then, you're a bitch, shut up, bitch, I'm gonna beat you like your father. Just the entire time he would not let him speak. That was some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. But yeah, Sean said some interesting things too, like how he was not gonna get taken down, which I don't see happening, but hey, if he can actually defend against Chimaev's takedowns, then this is going to be a very, very interesting main fight for the belt. I mean, it's gonna be one for the books, but if it is just going to be a hug fest until maybe Sean taps or until they go to decision, then that's going to be kind of boring. And I think there's going to be maybe a lot of hype just for it to be a hugging match, but I hope Sean can hold his own. I really hope. I honestly, I hope Sean wins, just because it would be so peak, so funny. It would be such an upset. Also, I got to bring up Chimaev calling himself a terrorist and then screaming Allahu Akbar. Like, I forget what the question was, but I think, I'm pretty sure Sean Strickland called him a terrorist, then he was like, I am a terrorist to you because I'm gonna kill you, Allahu Akbar, and he screamed it at the top of his lungs. Chimaev's a fucking funny guy. Yeah, you gotta give it to him. He knows how to shit talk just as well as Sean Strickland does. I mean, they both got their things to say and they said them.
Calling him things like a Chechen whore, a terrorist, and making jokes about his religion
am
and
terrorist
culture.
for him. I am. I'm gonna take off his head. I'm gonna kill him. Allahu Akbar.
And now we got to talk about the thing that everybody's talking about, was Chimaev kicking Sean Strickland at the end of the press conference. Sometimes you need a little pre-fight violence, you know, that's why they do the face-off, so they can beat on each other and be like, oh, we gotta hold them back, oh, I sure hope no, Dana White's sitting there, oh, I sure hope nothing happens between these two men who clearly hate each other, that would be awful for our revenue and our profits, and then they're both walking back, acting like, hold me back, bro, I'm about to beat his ass, you know, like, they're gonna kill each other right there. But I hope they bring this same sort of energy into the octagon. I mean, this seems like the type of fight where they're not going to touch gloves at the beginning. Sean Strickland's probably just going to flip them off, and then they're going to start duking it out. I can't imagine these two guys are touching gloves ever. But yeah, I wish they had like a different angle of Chimaev kicking Strickland, because I actually want to see where he kicked him. It looked like he kicked him right above the knee area, and I want to know how hard he kicked him, because it looked like he did like a pretty tough kick. But yeah, these two guys have been going on and on about how they're going to kill each other in the ring, so let's hope they can live up to what they've been saying. Let's hope their bark is just as big as their bite, because I am excited for this Saturday. And just like Chimaev said, I'll see you guys in 2 days. Peace out. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Hit the frickin' thingamabob. I don't know what else you gotta hit. Peace.